still toughest opponent. When your moment comes, grab hold and own it. Shadows overnight, enough to make you shine bright.
Warning, this is GVTV News Teapot Alert. This is not news, but a commentary of great importance. It has no affiliation of the news, but this is a comment. It's time for a rant about what's going on around the world. Why are we all just sitting down while our fearless leaders are trying to decide what to do with our future? Here's a list of questions for President Obama. Why do we bail out automakers who wouldn't make an electric car? Why do we say no to legalize a harmless plant and taxing it to help the revenue of the country? Why do we inject billions into banks that raise the bar so high on loans no one qualifies, and then they give bonuses to employees with our money and starve small businesses? Where is Main Street bailout, and why didn't every citizen get some type of monetary boost? Why are we complaining our grandchildren will inherit a huge debt? They aren't going to pay it any more than we do. And what's wrong with universal money system? Who cares whose picture is on a piece of paper? And if the government creates these new expansion government jobs, how do we get rid of these temporary jobs when we recover? Why do we allow crooked politicians and lobbyists to control our country? And why do we keep using fossil fuels as a leader of the world when we know we can quit using them for cleaner energies like what the Venus Project reaches for? President Obama, why didn't you put money into the economy with the stimulus directly to the consumers, so we could spend it back into businesses and help our economy? Instead, the monies went to the banks, Wall Street, and auto conglomerates who stuff their pockets and still lay off workers and choke our recovery. Why are we not on the fair tax system and stop all this illegal taxation by the IRS? Anyone with money knows how to avoid taxes through loopholes, so give us a tax that everyone would pay. These questions do not broach the main ingredient to what brought our society to this point. Mostly it's just capitalism with a lot of greed, and all of us allowed the greed to unbalance the entire program. Listening to this rant, you might think it's a typical right-winger spout-off, but no, it's not. Right or left, they both corrupt the middle. Until we start to wean off the monetary system into a resource system, we will not fix anything. In fact, if we continue on the road we are on, a nuclear holocaust will happen. You can't think that Korea, China, Iran, Pakistan, India, Israel, Cuba, Venezuela, and Russia are not all in situations that sooner or later someone will get control that has no control, and then the dominoes will begin to fall. You also can't think that inside the U.S. borders are safe from bombings, suicides, or terror attacks from enemies of our belief system. We better wake up and secure our borders and start to try to be fiscally responsible in our own country. We need to restructure the way our Congress and Senate conduct business. We need to outlaw lobbyists and perks that cause the greed that corrupts what our country stands for. But maybe we are so corrupt that we can't fix it. Maybe we are the great Satan that some cultures seem to think we are. But maybe we are the only light that can lead humanity into the future with peace and freedom for all. If we don't change our ways, we are doomed forever. Here are some other questions to ponder. Why do banks charge $20 to $30 for overdrafts in your bank account when all they really do is adjust a number in a computer? This is billions of dollars yearly scammed income from us to them. Why isn't our money backed by the same amount of gold as its value like it used to be, so we don't get runaway inflation? Why does the government borrow money from the privately owned Federal Reserve, who then charges immediate interest on this money when the government could print its own money and not pay this giant interest debt? In fact, an easier question: why does the Federal Reserve even exist? Why does the Internal Revenue exist? If the IRS withholds part of our income and then later pays part of it back to us, aren't we considered government employees? Don't we work for them? If we are the government, then we are stealing from ourselves. If we are the government, then why do we send the lowest IQ people there to work? If we are the government, then why don't they listen to anything we say? Why don't we draft the senators, congressmen, Wall Street bigwig bankers, and automobile executives into the armed services to fight for our country? After all, isn't it their turn in the barrel?